yes, the merriest. Oh, hey, movie maniacs, how are you doing? Of course, welcome to my home, but also welcome to this movie review and Happy New Year to you and your family. I'm Matt, and of course, you are watching the previews, everyone's favorite part of the movie. I am so excited for 2020. There are so many good movies coming out, and right now we got past pretty much all the blockbusters, but now we're getting into personally my favorite time of the year, Oscar and award season. Yes, the movies that everybody kind of likes, but maybe not kind of likes, is where a lot of controversy stirs up. There's a lot of movies that came out in 2019 that really brought the Oscar buzz up, but now I'm going to start off 2020 bringing you a movie that is so happy for 2020. It is Marriage Story. Yes, I'm going to review a movie about divorce and ringing in the new year for, of course, 2020. This movie is directed by Noah Baumbach, also stars Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver, Laura Dern, and Ray Liotta. And this really gets the Oscar season going, at least for me. There have been a few movies that really, came out, and this one I would say is probably the one getting the most buzz after Irishman. And I know Irishman was only a couple months ago, but I really feel like the award movies really start coming along now. Now, this is a movie about, it really looks in, I would say, the incisive and compassionate look at really marriage and trying to keep the family together. And, of course, during the holidays, who wouldn't want to keep the family together? Now, I would say the driving point for this film are really, I would say, three things. It's, of course, the acting by the leads and Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, and then also the directing and script writing or screenplay by Noah Baumbach. Now, I come from, and Zach as well, come from a family divorce. So this movie really hit home for me. Now, I know there's a child actor in here who really, I would say, is the onset of it, but really seeing behind the scenes of what divorce actually is, it felt very personal to me. And for this film to really take I would say, a very depressing topic, but also keeping it depressing and keeping it uplifting to some point, it's a challenge. It's a big challenge, but I feel like Noah Baumbach really hit it on the head with this. There are parts that make you want to cry. There are parts that make you want to laugh. There's parts where you're supposed to feel happy, parts where you're supposed to feel sad. This is a roller coaster of emotions in this film, and I really credit a lot of the directing and screenwriting by Noah Baumbach, sorry. I really credit him for making this movie just so heartfelt. It's definitely a dramedy. Now, I know there's some, people that are just putting it as a drama. For me, it's not. It's definitely a dramedy. It keeps you interested pretty much the entire length of the film, and it's just over 2 hours. It's a 2 hour and 15-minute movie, and it still keeps your interest, and it tells a story in such a different way where you're not so much focused in on the courts like Kramer v. Kramer. You're focused on their lives separated with Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. And you're really, let's put it this way, you're kind of on both of their sides, which is pretty shocking. I know with Kramer and Kramer, at least for myself, I always root for Dustin Hoffman, in the end. But, Meryl Streep, you kind of look at her somewhat in a negative light, at least for me personally. But in this one, I feel with Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, because of their performance and really the understanding of their characters, you really root for them both in the end, and you want them to work through this, and you want to see them get past this rough patch in their life. But as the film goes on, you see that there's a lot more, I would say, a lot more rough patches than there were good parts. And the opening scene, I'm going to be honest, the opening dialogue to this film, where they're pretty much contrasting, and this is in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything. The opening scene where they're both talking about where they're, I guess, what they love about each other, and they're both, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a great monologue for all the pursuing actors and actresses out there. It's definitely something, to take note of, and that's what really dragged me in. And knowing why they get a divorce. Like, you understand, and it's really easy for you to comprehend, where it's not something convoluted. You agree with it, but you don't want to agree with it at the same time, because you want them to get past this, because the characters are so likable. And this is kind of getting into Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver's performance. God, they're good. I know Scarlett Johansson's been in, quite numerous films. The same thing with Adam Driver. They're known for, I would say, their blockbuster work. So Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, Adam Driver being Kylo Ren, and Ben Solo in Star Wars. They really do shine in this movie, and I credit again a lot to Noah Baumbach. I credit him a lot, because the dialogue that they're talking, it makes it so believable and so relatable. But the dialogue can only go so far. You need actors who are willing to take these words and make them their own. And I feel like Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson do. And I would say it's an equal plane as well. I don't think one of them outshines the other. And there's one pivotal scene where they're both arguing, and you just feel their pain, and you just feel all this pent-up anger that they have towards one another. And it felt so real. I felt like I was, sometimes in this movie, I felt awkward. I felt like I was a third wheel, just, sitting out and just listening to these two people argue. I mean, there are times, I felt like, when you go to a friend's house and their parents are arguing, that's how I kind of felt watching some of the scenes in this movie. And I couldn't agree more that Scarlett Johansson definitely deserves an Oscar for her portrayal in this movie. I think she definitely deserves a nomination. Whether, I didn't see Jojo Rabbit, but people are saying Jojo Rabbit or this movie. I can't imagine her doing any better in this, Jojo Rabbit that she did in this movie. But Adam Driver, I mean, for sure, he's a shoo-in for a nomination, and this might be a little controversial. He's right up there with Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, and I could really see them going neck and neck as award season, continues to move on, because he puts such a passion, such a drive. And you could see it on his face, how much pain he has, and how he's struggling between not only going with this divorce and being confused as to why they're getting a divorce, but also you can see him trying to be a good dad and be there for his son while he's working in different states. And that's another, I guess, layer that was added to this film. And it was just, honestly, it's a beautiful film, and it felt almost personal, to me. I felt Noah Baumbach was talking to me about, stuff that might have happened in my past, and I appreciated that. It's a no holds barred look at divorce and how it affects a family, how it affects the respective mom, the dad, and how that relationship can either, I would say, be stuck in a rut, which sometimes in this movie it shows that, or how those two can move on but still be good parents. And it really struck a chord with me, so to speak. So I would say overall, if I'm going to give this a grade, it's really tough, and I think I'm being a little too, I don't want to say easy, because I don't think there's anything really negative about this movie to say. It held my interest the entire way through. It is, again, a typical Oscar movie. If you're into that stuff, yeah, go ahead and enjoy it. If you don't like it, you might not find enjoyment out of it. For me, I do find enjoyment about a lot of personal, I guess, deep dives and, character studies that I feel like this movie portrayed. And I enjoy these type of films. Is it my favorite film of the year? Probably not. But is it top 10? Yeah, probably. I like Noah Baumbach's work. I like Adam Driver. I love Scarlett Johansson, and I think they gave one hell of a performance. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4.5 Frankenstein costumes out of 5. If you're looking to, maybe it's dark and gloomy outside and you're looking to feel that way, this might be the movie for you. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. But again, I wanted to wish you all a happy New Year's. That's it for this week, Movie Maniacs. If you didn't already in the beginning, hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, hit that bell icon so you get notified of every single review we upload, and then we will see you next week. Hopefully my partner in crime, Zach, is here, but we'll see you next week on the previews.